รายการต่อไปนี้เป็นรายการทั่วไปสามารถรับชมได้ทุกวัย
สนับสนุนโดยแลกเงินด้วยบัตรเครดิตกสิกรไทยเที่ยวก่อนจ่ายทีหลังไม่มีค่าธรรมเนียมผ่อนชำระได้จากธนาคารกสิกรไทย
สวัสดีค่ะมองเรามองโลกวันนี้เราอยู่กันที่ประเทศสิงคโปร์เราจะไปดูตัวอย่างแบรนด์สิงคโปร์ที่ประสบความสำเร็จในการขยายธุรกิจไปยังต่างประเทศกระเป๋าขวัญเพนและร้านขายขนมหวานอัลฟูลี่ช็อกโกแลตค่ะขวัญเพนแบรนด์กระเป๋าหนังจระเข้สุดหรูจากสิงคโปร์ก่อตั้งขึ้นในปี 1938 โดยในขวัญเพนเซงซึ่งเริ่มต้นจากการทำกระเป๋าให้กับชาวอังกฤษที่อาศัยอยู่ในสิงคโปร์จนเป็นที่ยอมรับในคุณภาพและสามารถเติบโตสู่การสร้างแบรนด์ของตัวเองได้ด้วยการออกแบบที่มีเอกลักษณ์และความประณีตในการสร้างสรรค์กระเป๋าแต่ละใบด้วยมือทำให้ขวัญเพนไม่เพียงเติบโตในสิงคโปร์แต่ยังขยายสาขาในอีกหลายประเทศรวมถึงประเทศไทยด้วยปัจจุบันขวัญเพนบริหารโดยรุ่นลูกคือคุณเลโอนาร์ดขวัญและมีคุณโจนาธานขวัญซึ่งเป็นรุ่นหลานเป็นผู้จัดการด้านโครงการพิเศษของขวัญเพน
How did Kwan Pen get into the business of crocodile skin products in the first place?
Kwan Pen started in 1938 by my grandfather, Mr. Kwan Pen Singh. He started making bags for the British who were in Singapore at that point of time. After that, he decided that he would start a business and he registered the name and they started off just manufacturing handbags. So after the British left Singapore, our main customers were Japanese. We were doing good business with the Japanese and during 1975, we started our own retail shop in Orchard Road. So after that, we expanded overseas. Our first expansion was in Hong Kong in 1996 and followed by in Bangkok, Gason Plaza, 2002. So now we have Kwan Pen shops in 8 different countries and we're actually opening Japan next month.
Why does Kwan Pen specialize in crocodile leather?
Crocodile leather is very difficult to work with. It's different from cow leather. To properly stitch and work with crocodile leather without getting creases on the bags, it takes a lot of years of work to know how to work on the crocodile leather. Normally our craftsmen takes about 5 years before they actually start working on the leather itself.
Where do you get your crocodile skins from?
Okay, we get our crocodile skins from a tannery in Singapore and the tanneries will get it from the farms who are mostly in New Guinea and Zimbabwe.
In terms of branding, how do you build your brand?
Okay, we don't normally build our brand by big marketing budget. We choose to focus on the products itself and make a very good product which will in turn spread by word of mouth. So it's a little bit organic and slow, but it's very solid and stable. So we can say that we have a very loyal and good following of fans that buy our products. Every time when we come up with new products, they normally just come in and buy because the trust that we build with the customers are already there.
Isn't it a rather difficult market because you're in the high-end market and it's mainly dominated by Western brands?
I think consumers nowadays, they don't differentiate between Western brands or Asian brands anymore. The world is becoming a globalized society and there isn't much of a difference between a Western brand or an Asian brand, but how the brand communicates itself with the consumers is important. And I find that Asian consumers they are progressing and learning more about luxury every day. Okay, the luxury market is changing as well. It used to be Asian customers just buying big brand names that are heavily marketed on. But now Asian customers start looking at the quality, how much the brands can associate themselves with the customers. The most important thing is how do the Asian consumer see luxury as? Because I think they feel that luxury is a form of self-expression, so which is like an art. Well, usually luxury last time, it's like a fine dining dinner. You have to use the right fork, use the right knife, drink from the right glass. But nowadays, you will see luxury in the form of t-shirts, sneakers. All the luxury brands are shifting, they are moving, and this is breaking the traditional rules of what luxury really is.
What are the reactions of customers when they know that Quan Pen is a Singaporean brand?
Okay, our Singaporean customers have known us for a long time. So we have customers asking if we are from Japan, from Korea, or even in Thailand. Because traditionally we don't market ourselves very much. We spread by word of mouth, so not many people know where we are from. But I think it's a good thing, because it can come as a surprise to someone who has found a new brand that the person really likes, rather than the typical several brands that everybody is buying.
สิงคโปร์เป็นประเทศที่มีภาพลักษณ์ความน่าเชื่อถืออยู่ในอันดับต้นๆของโลก ดังเช่นในการจัดอันดับขีดความสามารถในการแข่งขันของประเทศต่างๆทั่วโลกโดย World Economic Forumสิงคโปร์ได้รับการจัดให้อยู่ในอันดับที่ 2 จาก 138 ประเทศและในการจัดอันดับประเทศที่เอื้อต่อการทำธุรกิจประจำปี 2016 โดยธนาคารโลกสิงคโปร์ก็ได้รับการจัดอันดับให้อยู่ในอันดับที่ 2 จาก 190 ประเทศทั่วโลก
Does the fact that you are a Singaporean brand, Singapore as a country itself, the image of the country, impact your brand image?
I think in a way it does, because I think Singapore is known as being very trustworthy, a country that is very easy to do business with. People have a lot of trust in Singapore. We are very efficient, and well, Singapore naturally gets the job done. So it translates to us being a Singapore brand as being very trustable. We don't cut on corners. We deliver what you see, exactly what you get.
ขวัญเพนไม่เพียงแต่เติบโตในสิงคโปร์แต่ยังขยายไปยังต่างประเทศได้แก่อังกฤษฮ่องกงมาเก๊ามาเลเซียเกาหลีใต้ตุรกีกาตาร์ญี่ปุ่นและประเทศไทย
You start off in Singapore with the Singaporean market. Why do you need to expand to other markets as well?
Singapore market is pretty small. We have about 5 million or so people now living in Singapore. And being a very niche brand, our market in Singapore is even smaller, maybe the top 5%. So it's to moving overseas and expanding overseas is just a natural course of expansion for us.
How do you choose which overseas markets to expand to?
If I remember back in 1996, I was still very young at the time, but I remember the conversations of my dad and my uncles. We were experiencing very high customers coming from Hong Kong, and then soon after it was in Bangkok, Thai customers. So of course it will be natural to expand to the country that has the majority of our customers at that point of time.
How is business doing in Thailand?
Oh, wow. Business is doing very good in Thailand. I would say for last year, it was more than what we have hoped for. It was above expectations.
And why do you think that is?
I think Thailand has proved itself to be a very good tourist location. They have attracted many tourists from Korea, China, Hong Kong, and even in the Middle East, which are all these are majority of our customers. So with Thailand being a very good tourist attraction and attracting many tourists, naturally it will be good for us and many of other businesses there in Thailand.
That's marketing before, and now we're in the digital age. Are there any major differences for you?
Oh yes, being in the digital age, marketing by word of mouth is so much easier. With Instagram, Facebook, the reach is worldwide. I mean, if you look at word of mouth marketing compared to 20 years ago, you can tell your relatives, your friends, but that's it. Now with new technology like Instagram and Facebook, it becomes a global marketplace, a global talking point, and things like this spread very fast.
Since you have a very niche market, do you have any competitors at all?
We don't naturally have any competitors, but we tend to be compared to a couple of Western brands most of the time by our customers. I think a big distinction is Quanpen is the only brand that does crocodile handbags on such a scale in the world. There is not any other brand that has an entire shop full of crocodile leather handbags in 8 different countries at our scale. We are the only one. That is where we are very unique as compared to different Western brands who actually tend to focus more on their heritage. And while we, as an Asian brand, we have our own heritage, but we tend to focus still more on the products. We tend to push out how our products are made, the quality of the products. We focus a lot more marketing on our products than our heritage. I think that's one of the main difference in marketing.
What would be your advice for other entrepreneurs who want to market the brand abroad?
I think first and foremost, you have to be strong in your own country. Establishing a good foundation and really believing in your own products and your own direction is very important. With a good foundation, you can expand easily to different countries. You just need to adapt to the different cultures and laws when you're there. But if you do not have a very strong foundation back home with no support, expansion will bring along its own set of problems.
Awfully Chocolate แบรนด์เบเกอรี่สัญชาติสิงคโปร์ก่อตั้งขึ้นในปี 1998 โดยลินลีและเพื่อนๆพวกเขาเริ่มต้นจากการขายเค้กช็อกโกแลตแบบเดียวเท่านั้นซึ่งเป็นเค้กช็อกโกแลตที่เรียบง่ายเน้นการใช้ช็อกโกแลตที่เข้มข้นไม่มีครีมไม่มีการตกแต่งหน้าเค้กใดๆ Awfully Chocolate ได้รับการตอบรับที่ดีมากจากเค้กเพียงชนิดเดียวปัจจุบัน Awfully Chocolate มีผลิตภัณฑ์ที่หลากหลายมากขึ้นแต่ยังคงเน้นการใช้ช็อกโกแลตเป็นวัตถุดิบหลักอยู่
You like to eat chocolate cakes, so is that the reason why you decide to open cake shop?
I love chocolate, but that's not good enough a reason. And if anyone asks, I will tell them, please don't say I like to eat cupcake and therefore I open a cupcake shop, because I don't think that's the way it works. We were just thinking about wanting to do something of our own, wanting to build up something from scratch. And that was just the idea that we did some work on. I happen to personally like chocolate, but that's not the main reason. And it was just something that after we worked it, everyone liked that we were doing something that was different, right? No one was crazy enough to start a shop with only one cake. Everyone told us it wouldn't work, but we thought, no, we think that the chocolate tastes different enough. We think that we've worked this recipe, which is unique. I'll just give you a simple example. This cake, right? It took us about a year to workshop how we wanted the cake to look and taste and where to get the chocolate from. And there were a lot of people who looked at the cake and they said, you have to be kidding. How can you start a shop? And mind you, there was just one cake. Now we've got drinks, we've got other cakes, but none of these. So we started with only this one cake. And people said we were crazy.
And you were confident that it will work.
Well, when you say you're confident it will work, we were confident enough that we wanted to start trying. But I think anyone who does business would be foolish if you said at that point, 100% it will work. Of course, we knew that it might fail. And I think if you're not prepared to fail, then don't go into business.
How did you make people know about the brand Awfully Chocolate?
Maybe I should be happy that there wasn't any internet in those days. So people had a different way of getting the word out by mouth. But I do have to thank a very edgy magazine in Singapore called 8 Days Magazine. 19 years ago, it was like the Rolling Stone magazine of Singapore, but they never wrote about food. It was a music and entertainment magazine, and someone wrote an article about this quirky, weird-looking little shop that only sold one cake. And I think that people sat up because, why was Rolling Stone writing about a cake shop? And so I think that when you find and you strike that note, and for us it has been being brave enough to not follow what everyone says you ought to do, and a bit crazy, but making it different, but believing in why it should be different, it does get picked up by people. It resonates, the authenticity, the honesty, as I say, that I think it's very important in any product.
In today's age of social media, how do you market your brand?
We have also embraced the social media as much as we possibly can. We've got the Facebook accounts, the Instagram accounts. We have a lot of fans who post pictures of, and I suppose there's more to post now, because there's different products. We've expanded into drinks, cafes. We have a restaurant. So I suppose that is more media friendly.
But all these posts on social media do play a role. You would agree with that,
that's
right?
the thing. You never know how big a role it plays in getting someone to come out and try it. Or was it the taste, or was it the experience? But you have to embrace it because it's how people today communicate and learn about things.
Awfully Chocolate มีสาขาในสิงคโปร์ถึง 17 สาขา และยังขยายกิจการไปเปิดร้านในหลายเมืองของประเทศจีน ได้แก่ ปักกิ่ง เซี่ยงไฮ้ กวางโจว หางโจว หนานทง อู่ฮั่น รวมถึงฮ่องกงด้วย
From Singapore, why did you decide to go abroad?
Well, we celebrate 10 years in China this year. It's been a great journey. We've expanded, we've set up our own office, we've set up our own central baking facilities. So anyone who has an Awfully Chocolate franchise in China, and in China they're all franchise, is because they tried the cake somewhere, they loved it, and they called me up. And they said, hey, can we talk? And we made friends. For years we didn't franchise because we didn't feel ready. We wanted to have, a group of stores, not just one or two. So we just kept friends and kept talking. And I suppose when the moment was right, things fell into place and it happened, and suddenly it's been 10 years.
You say some of your own experiences with making your brand known is now written into your guidebook. What are some of those guidelines?
Oh, in that we told the franchisees, we said, you're not allowed to advertise, and they can't understand it. They say, huh? How am I supposed to get my... And then we tell them the story, and then we say, look, if you have this stipulation that you can't just do open advertising the way a normal F&B would do, you will discover more innovative ideas and innovative ways to publicize yourself and to get the word out. The first guy in China, it was really funny. I think he went out on the streets with a bunch of staff and they held out placards, you know, something about free hugs and chocolate, and they, you know, we did crazy things. We've done a whole gamut of different things to show people that, you know, we do stuff differently.
Does the fact that Awfully Chocolate is from Singapore, does that impact the brand image of your shop?
I know that when we started in China, we didn't exactly emphasize that, oh, this is, you know, chocolate cake from Singapore. I didn't think we needed to. I thought that it was more important that people just liked the cake, didn't matter where it was from. I mean, we don't hide it. It helps because Singapore has a good image of, you know, cleanliness and high standards. So that's always important in food, especially in China. But the biggest challenge for going overseas was that China didn't have a culture of eating chocolate cake. This is a very, I don't know, an English or a Western thing. You know, in Singapore, everyone eats tea and dessert. But in China, they were like, okay, maybe I'll buy a Western cake once a year for a celebration, but and that was difficult because it came from such a different background. So I credit my guys in China for absolutely being at the forefront of changing a whole lifestyle. Today, if there isn't a chocolate shop in a mall in Shanghai or Beijing, you would be shocked.
From Singapore, you have shops in China. What about Southeast Asia?
Oh, I would love to be in Southeast Asia. And it's weird, right? We didn't plan it this way. As I said, it was about human connection. So it just so happened that China just happened to happen first. And one lesson I think we did learn about expanding is that, look, we're a small company. We've got big-hearted people, and we know that our DNA is very different from how a lot of other people think. But it is important to us that we all have that same kind of thinking and that same kind of passion, because we see that it helps us to achieve things that no one says we could achieve. And by spreading ourselves everywhere, you know, trying to open in Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, China at the same time, we don't think we do a good job. So 10 years, mainly focusing on China, has helped China be what it is and be strong.
What is your secret to success?
The attitude, which is the key to any achievement, right? Not worrying that you're doing it differently, you're being contrary from how everyone else thinks and does it. If you believe in it, it's all in the attitude.
และนี่คือตัวอย่างของแบรนด์สิงคโปร์ที่ประสบความสำเร็จอย่างมากในวันนี้แน่นอนว่าการทำธุรกิจนั้นไม่ง่ายแต่ถ้าเกิดว่ามีความรักความตั้งใจและความคิดสร้างสรรค์ก็ย่อมทำให้แบรนด์นั้นเติบโตไปได้เรื่อยๆค่ะพบกันใหม่สัปดาห์หน้าวันนี้สวัสดีค่ะ